Well, it's looking stormy out there, and thunderstorms are continuing to move through the southern part of the state. And with some of these thunderstorms, we're looking at a little bit of strong winds. In fact, strong enough that we're seeing a little bit of displaced furniture out there. This is a lookout over Sun River, thanks to Kennedy, and they can see clearly that there is a little bit of thunderstorm damage out there at the present time, mainly just some displaced furniture at the present time. But some of these gusty winds are kicking up a little bit of dust here to the south as well. We go ahead and take a look at the radar. What looks to be a sight for sore eyes for at least northern Utah, mainly dry. However, towards the south, a lot of thunderstorms. We can see a lot of lightning strikes being associated with these thunderstorms, but the bulk of them are off towards Garfield, Kane, Iron, and Washington counties at the present time. These are continuing to move further and further to the east, and with them could be a little bit of small hail, maybe some gusty winds. However, a little bit of flooding could very well be possible with the strongest of these storms. Take a look at this. Here's a look at the futurecast. It shows that we are going to be looking at these thunderstorms continuing for the next few hours, dying down overnight tonight, but picking back up by the time we get to tomorrow afternoon. By the time we get to tomorrow afternoon, a few strong thunderstorms could be expected once again. Maybe a little bit of flooding in flood-prone areas once again as well. However, these will start to taper off by the time we get to Saturday, and then we'll be looking at rain chances returning Saturday once again. So look at the storm threat for tomorrow, just a general risk for thunderstorms. Same goes for Saturday, but for the eastern half of the area, basically along and east of I-15. However, the excessive rainfall threat mainly going to be just to our east. However, like I said, a little bit of flooding in flood-prone areas can't be ruled out. Take a look at this. Precip potential for tomorrow mainly going to be towards the southern half of the state once again. As far as the flash flood potential goes, going to be possible for all of the locations listed right here. However, if you do find yourself having to go outside for a hike, make sure that you have a way of getting notifications, especially if you're going into a slot canyon, as flash flooding could be possible. Look out over ABC4 Studios. Looks fairly calm up that direction. However, to the southeast in Moab, we can see a few stormy skies off in the distance, as well as a little bit of blue skies mixed in as well. 60 degrees there, but stormy skies here in St. George, where the temperature is 73 degrees, 67 in Provo. Lows tonight, temperatures mainly going to be in the 50s. However, highs tomorrow going to be a tad bit warmer for some, mainly in the 70s. However, 80 for Moab and 84 for St. George. Look at the Wasatch Front. It shows that we're going to be looking at 82 tomorrow, 90s on Saturday, but back to the 80s Sunday, 70s by Monday. And then St. George going to be looking at temps in the mid-90s for the high on Friday. About 97 degrees on Saturday afternoon, looking fairly windy. 94 for Father's Day, going to be windy as well. 90 on Monday, 92 on Tuesday, but temperatures back to the mid-90s on Wednesday. And then for Thursday, it's going to be roughly 90 degrees. Back to you in the studio.